This is my 1974 2JZ swapped Datsun 260Z that totally and completely runs already, but we need to install seat rails because you kind of need a seat to drive. So let's get into it. This is our package from Murray Motorsport all the way in Ireland. So here's one. Driver's side, passenger side. We're gonna leave this one wrapped up for now and put into the abyss. Essentially all this kit is you got 2 bars and 4 mounts that get welded onto these bars, and you cut the bars to length. Got a nut inside here that you screw it down to. That way you get a little bit of play. And then a couple of reinforcement plates. So the idea is that we'll find our place on the side of the car, weld it. It'll kind of be at an angle like this. Rail will sit in there for the time being, and then we can kind of tack these guys in place, then pull the rail out with our pieces tacked in, fully weld those up, come back, drop them in here, fully weld the rails up. So that's the plan for now. Things might change. All right, so after fidgeting with this thing for about an hour, realized that the way we're going to do it is completely wrong. So right now I've got the pieces that weld onto our rails on the bottom of the seat, making sure everything's going to fit nicely. It seems like they will, so I'm going to have to mark based off here, based off of this bolt, and then take some measurements. We're also going to lean this back slightly, have about an inch raise, and we'll just weld up the bar about, half inch, whatever it may be. This little area where it comes in the door, that's for later Grant to worry about. So we're going to make sure everything fits, and then we will be able to take some measurements, tack these in, cut these to length, make sure everything fits up nicely, and weld her all up. Alright, so cleaned off the space where I need to weld on our plates. I made a modification to one. I'll have to do the same to the other. Here's our bar that we've cut to length. That's going to sit approximately here, about 1/8 of an inch off the ground. And then our pieces here. I've also had to make minor modifications too, because the hole they have here is the exact outer diameter of this, so it doesn't fit over. So I just opened it up a little bit with a flap disc, and it fits significantly better. So we'll have one here, one on the other side. Okay. So I've been looking at this and making adjustments for about 2.5 hours, and I figured out that this is probably the best way I have to do it, because I have a tilt that I'm going to build in my seat rails, because the rails holding my actual seat, which makes a lot of sense, don't actually have any adjustment because they're NRG seat rails and this is an OMP seat. I need OMP seat rails, but the ones I need, they didn't have in stock, so this is what we're going with for now. And they seem to be working just fine in their low profile, which keeps my head off the ceiling of the car. Anyway, this is how at least we're gonna do it. All right, so we found out the position of exactly where this needs to be, and we found our rail length. So we know that this guy's gonna be right here. So we're gonna tack him in, and then we're gonna attach it to the seat, and we're gonna tack him in while it's attached to the seat. That way we know exactly where we want this thing to be. Then we have a little bit of rotation play here, not a lot. I mean, this is exaggerative, but we have a little bit of rotation, and the front of the seat is going to be up between 1/2 an inch and 1 inch. Once we know that height, we can then take our other seat rail just like this and go ahead and tack in both of these on the actual seat itself, raise them up, mark where they're going to be, which I believe is going to be about right here. Go ahead and mount our plate, weld up everything completely, and we should have one seat completed. And that was a lot of explanation, so I hope I made a little bit of sense, but we're going to tack this guy up, throw it on the seat, and then tack that one up. That'll work. All right, so this is gonna work. It's a little more tilted forward than I would have hoped, but I can fix that with different seat rails. But the spacing to my legs, it's a little tight, but it was always going to be. Now I'm gonna take the seat out, leave the seat mounts, the seat rails, get everything tacked in place, make sure it fits again, pull it back out, weld her up, put her in, she's in. right, so everything is welded in and still fits the seat rail, so that's exciting. I did have to flap a little bit of these, not because they were super ugly, but because I needed to be flat from this to this. Those I'll probably have to flap, just these top ones. Some of the welds came out okay, some of them came out super ugly, but they are all very much penetrating. So, and this is ridiculously strong. That's, you know, the normal test. FD cars, stomp on it. If it doesn't move, it's good to go. We've got our seat mounts here. They're gonna go on the seat and then back in the car, test fit it one last time, and then we'll throw a coat of paint on this and call it good. For anyone wondering how hot it is in Texas, it's ridiculously hot. I'm sweating like a stuck pig. Anyway, the seat's in. One guy on the Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Seat rails came out really good. They're still drying, but I'm not going to put the seat back in there quite yet until they are done drying for obvious reasons. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.